Carini. Got some things you say and do. Tell me your brain cells off a few, and that is why I hate you.
What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast. Matthew here.
Joaquin here.
Yeah, I made you do it again.
And that is why I hate you.
What's up, dude?
Same old. Got sick earlier in the week. You know.
Me too. We both were sick. What were you
Haven't
sick
seen
with?
each other.
No, we haven't.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, I don't think we've seen each other much at all since school started. Really.
Yeah. My usual upper respiratory infection, but it's the first stage where I get a sinus infection first, and then it moves down. But for the last 3 days, I've been able to stop it at the sinus infection level.
Yeah, I had the same issue.
Early enough. Same
thing. And I didn't do anything special, but it did get into my chest this time, which was good because usually it starts in my head, and then I get it in my throat, and then I start going like like all day and all night.
All the
my
dad
wife
noises.
Gets really angry. But my wife got sick too this time, and she usually is like immune to everything because she's got teacher antibodies or some shit.
Yeah. See, unfortunately, my wife and we haven't been sleeping in the bed because she hurt herself.
Oh God!
Doing a Taekwondo test, somebody had to flip her, and she landed.
Ooh.
She landed a little wrong.
Yeah, I bet.
We're in our 30s. We don't recover like.
Yeah, but it's not like I do
to.
that like getting into bed. At least she was being flipped by someone.
Yeah, and she I think I saw when it happened, but she played it off really well. But man, when she came home, like she just got all like her neck got stiff. She's been sleeping on the couch so she can sit up.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask if that was more comfortable, and I get it.
Well, I'm sorry, no, it's more of a reclining chair. We have a Lazy Susan,
right? So
she's been sleeping straight up with a bobby pillow behind her neck, and
that makes
slathered
sense.
in CBD oils, ice packs.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Sitting up in the recline. That's what we do sometimes with ourselves or the kids if we've got that bad chest cold, just sort of setting up. But yeah, my whole house, everybody in my house except me now is still like coughing and hacking everywhere. It's so fucking irritating. I hate when I know it's going to happen every year when school starts because it's just they go into their little petri dishes and
they bring stuff home.
Yeah, lick the doorknobs and.
See, I came home from a birthday party. It was rain. I think it was during the weekend, so it was raining all day. And I guess that's around. I think I got it at the birthday party because it was at this roller rink in the middle of nowhere.
Could be, yeah. There's a roller rink?
It's not around. It's like over an hour away.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I can't think of any skating or roller anything rinks.
Well, another thing my wife can do, she can rollerblade. She's pretty good at it. My daughter can rollerblade. For her age, she's pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I can't even think of putting on roller skates or I'm going to end up meeting gravity real quick. And my son wanted to try to do it. And I didn't even want to go out on the roller rink because I'm like, I'm going to get hit. Somebody's just going to run right in. There's like a million kids here.
Yeah.
And they're all just falling all over the place. I got taken out twice.
You're like, some kid skate into you and get knocked down, get hurt. And they're like, you feel like it's your fault, even though it's just a kid being a kid,
just with death wheels on their feet. I had a sitcom like situation where I had to go to the roller place, the booth to get the shoes, but then
you had to. Oh, that's right. They give you them too. You don't even.
Yeah, it's like a bowling alley.
Yeah, they're so
old gross shoes.
It's so dirty and gross. Oh, and they don't clean those things.
And there's two teenagers who don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And the music's really loud because it's a fucking roller rink, but they're just speaking at like lower than normal volume. And so my passive aggressive ass is now sitting there pretending to know what they're saying and trying so hard to just lip read and just go, yeah, I get it. They was like, you have to go up front. Then you have to go in the back because you have to sign a waiver before you go into this place, by the way.
I'm not surprised these days. You imagine that shit when we were a kid? Like if a place had you sign a waiver, people would be like, what the fuck you make me, what is this shit?
the sheer fact that you said that, because I've been watching the new season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they have an episode just like that.
I've only watched the first episode so far, which was
You
the
fool! Watch it all. I am
one where
obsessed with
they get the blow up furniture. Yeah, I am too.
Oh,
It's just I don't know why it fell off my radar to watch, and then I watched one episode, the first episode, like 2 weeks ago, and just since haven't picked it back up. I don't know
this
why.
season I think is really good because I think they don't have bad seasons; they just have weaker seasons, and this is actually a really good season.
Yeah, I agree. There's no bad seasons at all, but you're right. There's some that maybe are a little weaker. Yeah, the first episode was really good. I liked it.
Yeah. Well, this season they had an episode about Chuck E. Cheese. Well, it wasn't Chuck E. Cheese's, but it was, their version of Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
And I say Chuck E. Cheese's. I watched a thing with my kids, and we were having a comical debate about why people say Chuck E. Cheese and Chuck E. Cheese's when it's not Chuck E. Cheese's.
It is Chuck E. Cheese?
It's Chuck E. Cheese.
It should be Chuck E. Cheese's. Like, he owns it.
Like his place.
It's his place.
I don't know.
Charles Entertainment Cheese's Pizzeria and Restaurant.
But we were they were doing the Chuck E. Cheese thing, and they were talking about how, like, you remember how Action Park was a thing, like when we were really little?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it was a huge thing when our parents were kids.
It was very
unsafe and dangerous as shit.
They did a whole documentary on HBO a couple years ago about it.
Oh
about
yeah,
how unsafe it was. I never watched it. And it was funny because, again, like it was very close to us. Like,
and they had a Johnny Knoxville movie that was based on Action Park.
That's correct. You're right. And it was very close to us.
It was like the jingle for back in the day was like, do whatever you want, da 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 da. You're a kid and you rule. You do everything that we don't want you to do, but you do it anyway. That kind of bullshit. And then the new one, they're like talking about being safe and respectful to pronouns and everything. And the kids can't, like, they have during Frank's time with Danny DeVito's character,
right?
They would let you have like cap guns that looked realistic, and they used to like paddle you if you misbehaved.
I was gonna say, his time, we had realistic cap guns when I was a kid. I had a bunch of them.
What I'm saying is, in the show, they're saying how, like, we grew up with realistic cap guns up until, like, I mean, you maybe a few years later, but I think I was up around like 7 or 8 when they stopped making realistic cap guns. They started putting the orange tip on them.
I had aged out by then.
See through. Okay,
yeah, it wasn't a thing for me. We still had the realistic ones. I remember pointing them at cars as they went by.
My age is around the actual transition from like
you're 2 years younger,
child safety.
Yeah, you probably were right there.
Because I owned a metal cap gun, one that you flip the side and you put the little strip in, you pull in the back, and then you pop them off.
Right. It irritates me because I always see all these Gen X videos where they talk about, all the things were different. And technically I'm supposed to be in the millennial category, but I identify with all the stuff the Gen Xers say. Like, that's what it was like when I was a kid. It wasn't.
It's
I'm right on the cutoff. I believe.
No, 82. That's what I'm saying. That's the thing. Millennials are a weird, like, because the transition happened during the millennial timeline.
Right.
So millennials are a transitional, like, age gap.
I get it, and I get that I'm on the cutoff, but I don't identify with any of the transitional stuff. Like, I didn't have any of that shit when I was a kid. It was all the way Gen Xers say it.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, me and you are not that far away from age, but I'm during the transitional period where I remember everything changing from so things making sense this way, and then now I'm having to make sense this way.
I'm just irritated that I'm considered a millennial. Let's just be honest. That's what it comes down to. But no, I don't. It just annoys me because I'm like, I don't identify with that time period. I identify with all the Gen X stuff. Even though it's transitory, I get it. They have to have the cutoff somewhere. Yeah. But I'm like, why couldn't it have been like 2 years after me or the year after me or some shit?
It's funny for me because the generational thing, I think the only generation that is allowed to hate themselves are millennials.
Yeah.
Because we are so different. Like we are literally not a monolith when it comes to the generations. Like, you can find the gamut of insufferable people.
Absolutely.
In so many different directions.
Absolutely, yes.
you can be a millennial, love grunge, but still like want an iced tea latte with a man bun.
You're
Like,
absolutely right. That's a
so
really good way to put it. You're right.
a
Yeah,
chai
I
tea
mean,
latte, but
just like
yeah,
because well, speaking of rollerblading, like I used to rollerblade all the time when I was a kid. It was like when they came out and they had the big fat wheels still. They
yep.
didn't have the streamline. I remember when the streamline ones came out. I was so excited
Oh
for them.
man.
But I rollerbladed all over the damn neighborhood, by myself when I was young with wherever I wanted after dark.
Hmm.
Didn't matter. Didn't wear a helmet. And like it was fine. I remember riding bikes around the neighborhood like that. I remember one
Yep.
time riding bikes with a friend of mine, and his dumb ass. We were riding down the street side by side, and I was kind of in the middle of the street, and he was on the curb, like right next to the
Hmm.
curb, and he wasn't paying attention, and he fucking ran into the back of a parked car.
Oh
His
shit.
bike flipped over the top, and he came down on the other side of the front of the car, and he was like, "Please don't tell him." He was bleeding. He was fucked up.
Oh my god.
And he's
Like,
"Please
how is
don't."
your mom not
He
gonna
goes, "Please
notice?
don't tell my mom. Please don't tell my mom," because he was afraid he was going to get in trouble for riding
Uh-huh.
in the street without a helmet. Whereas I was like, my mom didn't give a fuck. She wasn't thinking about that stuff. So maybe I was, I guess, in that transitory period because his mom was concerned about you're
Well,
riding in the street, you're not wearing your helmet. My mom didn't give a fuck. She was like,
it's crazy because like
I was
I
older
grew
than
up
him
kind of
too.
like that too. I grew up kind of like that. I still had the street light rule
Home
where
after the
you need to be
streetlights,
home. You have to be home right before the street lights turn on.
or that's what I don't know why I said after.
But
Yeah,
you
right before
couldn't
the street.
even be like in your lawn. You had to be home, like
Yeah,
in the house.
no,
But
that makes sense.
I also grew up with video games, so I had outside, inside, had
Right.
neighbors, played in the dirt and mud.
Yep.
But like my parents, they like cared but didn't give a shit at the same time.
I would, you know
Like
what?
they wanted me
That's
to be
probably,
alive. That's
I
what it
think,
was.
I think that's a good way to put it. It's like they cared when there was a real genuine opportunity for like some bad stuff to happen. Like
Yeah.
being out at 11 o'clock at night, walking around the street was a little different than, during the day, just by yourself at a young age. But it sucks so bad how bad it is now where like a kid can't
Yeah.
do that anymore. And people, like, I know the world's gotten a lot better in a lot of ways, but you can't argue the fact that it's gotten worse in that way. Like that you're like, people don't trust the fact that their kids might be out after a certain time
I
or
mean,
even out alone at all
I
at a young
feel
age.
I feel that it's the amount of information we have on things like
You think that's what it is?
I feel personally. Okay, for instance, how long do you think it took us to understand that our obsession with serial killers is not healthy? Like as a culture, like
Right.
when we were growing up, serial killers were seen as like slasher movie icons.
Sure. Yep. Absolutely.
And then
now
as adults, like in our 30s, people are going, we're doing these documentaries and things, but this isn't okay.
I mean, they idolize, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it was weird because to me, they were no different than those kind of characters until I was an adult. Like, no, these people killed real people.
Yeah, they're fucked up people that did horrible shit. It's
And
time.
imagine-
It's that time
Yeah.
thing where like once a certain amount of time has passed, people stop identifying with the horror of it, either because it's out of their memory or they weren't around when it happened.
Mhm.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
I feel that it actually was kind of worse back then in that regard, but we have more information now, so we're seeing it. So because during like the 70s, the amount of serial killers who weren't caught is astounding. They're still finding bodies from the 70s.
Well, just in general, it was, now anytime a kid goes missing or anything, like it's national news. And everybody knows about it. So I guess it's more in top of mind now. Like, oh my God, these horrible things could happen to kids. It's not that, couldn't happen to me mentality. Oh, really quick. Speaking of, I actually bought rollerblades about 5 or 6 years ago.
You were really on this rollerblade thing.
Well, no, it just came to mind. I bought rollerblades a few years ago, and I was like, because I just had in my mind, I'm gonna start rollerblading again. It was fun, dude. I could not fucking. I couldn't keep myself up. I couldn't stop. It was like I completely forgot how to do it. And my feet fucking hurt. And I was like, fuck this. They went on a shelf. I don't know where they are now. I think they're in my garage.
One ankle twist to just ruin everything for me.
Yeah, it was just, I felt terrible because I remembered enjoying it so much as a kid. And I'm like, I can't even fucking stay up now without my feet hurting.
Being old is nothing. Getting older is nothing but having memories of things that you used to be able to do. That's all it is. Because I'm just like, man, I used to be able to do this.
Yeah.
I used to be able to do that. I used to be able to just walk up the stairs and not have to take a deep breath. And you can say, well, that's just because you're out of weight. You're overweight. No. It's because I have bad knees.
Oh yeah. Is it your knees?
My knees are done. For me,
since I got this diagnosis I've got, it's been almost a year now. I have no energy. It's not even out of breath. It's just fatigue. It's just like, I don't have any more energy left. Like I got to sit down for a second. It's not like I'm like huffing and puffing. It's just, I literally need to stop for a second and regain some energy. But I don't know. I've been doing I don't know if have I talked to you about this? Like a few weeks ago, I started eating a little better and stuff. I think we talked about this. You told me about this. Yeah, we did have a I'm doing really well so far. I haven't really had any issues. I've lost a decent amount of weight already. And I've stuck with it. I thought it was going to be harder than it has been. I've just been kind of doing it like, it's not a big deal.
I am proud of you.
Me too.
I have no self-control with
that. But you've been exercising and stuff on a semi-regular basis, which I'm like looking at that. I'm like, I can't fucking do that. Like, there's no way I'd be able to stick with that. So, I was surprised with my degree of self-control and knowing that there's stuff in the house that I could eat and want to eat, but haven't eaten.
Yeah. Okay.
But I replaced a lot of stuff. I just was, okay, instead of this, I'm going to eat this. I'm going to do, instead of eating these snacks at night, I eat some carrots. I have some carrots. If I need something with some flavor, I've got Rice Crisps with a little bit of flavoring that are like nothing. There's nothing to them, but it fills me up and it's got a little bit of flavoring. For dinner, instead of having pasta or rice or noodles or whatever, I've been having spinach or green beans. And if I do have noodles or rice or something, it's not a fucking plateful. It's like a handful. It's like a little baby fistful, like a kid's fist size, just a little bit. And that's all I've been doing. I haven't been eating sugar. I've gotten rid of sugar. I've gotten a lot of the salt out of my diet, and it's been working out. I've been happy. I mean, I was sick last week, so I felt like shit. But other than that, I felt better in general. So, I don't know. I'm working. Like I said, I'm working on my plan to make myself not suck quite as much.
That's good. I'm actually really happy to hear that.
It
just gives me some
Thanks.
hope.
We could talk about it offline if you want, like what I've been doing. Because I really thought it was going to be a lot harder and a bigger issue than it has been, and I don't have a lot of willpower when it comes to shit like that. Yeah. But on the other side, when I want to get something done, I get it done. Like if I really want something to happen, I'm like, it's got to fucking happen. And in my head, I kind of made it one of those things. Like I need to make this happen. So it might be some of that too. I don't know. We're going to get family photos done in another couple weeks.
Oh,
do you guys ever do that? Do you ever do that shit?
I don't believe in that silly shit.
I don't believe in that silly shit
Your
either.
house
you
is
think
full
I
of
do?
Family photos. Stop.
Yeah, you think I actually want to do that shit? I don't like taking photos of myself in general. One, because the camera stealers just stole.
I see my family all the fucking time, and I know I don't need they're like, well, you could preserve the memory. Oh, I want to preserve the memory of yelling, be like, hey, let's get ready. No, don't you eat with that on. No, you get all that stress. I'm just gonna remember that day. That's all I'm gonna fucking remember.
I agree with you. But my wife likes to get them taken and have them. She likes having them hung up in the home, hanged up, whatever the word is. And I know she likes that. So we haven't actually done it in a couple years.
Make your wife happy. You make your wife happy.
I don't mind doing it because she likes it. So it's fine.
We all have to sacrifice for our relationships.
Are you being facetious? You're being a dick, aren't you? Yeah, I thought so. So we're going to, but I'm, in my head, I'm still really self-conscious about it. I'm like, what am I going to wear? I won't look like a fat piece of shit.
I avoid the mirror from like the shoulders up.
Oh,
like
me too.
The fucking plague.
Yeah. Oh,
If
I
see
avoid
my
the
reflection
mirror.
in the car,
Period, dude.
like I burst into flame.
I don't. It's not shoulders up for me. It's everything. I'm just. If I had my way, I'd just hang sheets over them all.
Okay, so I haven't been sleeping well because I can't breathe, and I like woke up and had to go to the bathroom. It was like 3 a.m. I get up, I see myself in the mirror. I see myself in the mirror, and I shit you not, I went, "Oh, I look awful."
Oh, it wasn't even because you scared yourself. It was legitimately because you thought you looked awful.
It was just I looked so, and it's not like sick awful. I mean, just looked at myself.
You're
like
just
my
like,
eyes. I think
why?
just because my eyes were bulging and they were
Why
red,
am I?
And I was puffy. I was just like, oh God. Why? Like that sat in my head while I was trying to go back to sleep. I was just like, oh, I look like shit.
Oh, I avoid it.
Oh,
I mean, especially if I have my shirt off or
God.
something like that. I'm like, I gotta avoid the mirror. I don't want to.
That's why I wish I could just grow a full beard. Like that could hide at least half of my face.
That's the good thing about having a beard, and you can get it trimmed to make it look like you got a better chin than you actually have. There's a lot of pluses to beards. Hides any pimply or rashy or gross stuff underneath it. Yeah, I haven't not had a beard in. Okay, when's the last time I didn't have a beard? Probably 15 years plus. I didn't even shave for my wedding, which I believe my mother-in-law was pretty upset about. And my wife actually, I think, stuck up for me. It was like that's the way he looks, like wants to look like he does. And I don't want to look at my wedding pictures and be like, who's that? Like,
I absolutely agree. You should always have a beard right now in your life. At this point in your life,
you're probably being an asshole, but I thank you.
I'm actually doing both. I'm being both sincere and an asshole.
Whatever. I like having a beard. Makes me feel like a man.
I'm trying to word it in such a way where I'm both very nice and very dickish about it.
When I say it makes me feel like a man, it's because I lack so many other ways in that category.
Hey, in Afghanistan, they say it's your man blood. That's what that is. You got your man blood.
All right, I got my man blood.
I used to get teased because I couldn't grow one. It's like you have no man blood.
Oh, you mean Afghani people call it that?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you meant like
soldiers.
I thought you meant like regular U.S. military.
No, the Afghani soldiers.
That's great. That's a great
like
your man blood.
There's fucking dudes that were like 16, 17 years old, like full thick ass mustache and beard. Yeah. And like, you have no man blood. Well, shut the fuck up.
You were jealous. Don't be.
Oh no, it was absolute jealousy. I'm not denying that at all. I'm still jealous. I am way older than I was then, and still have not grown more facial hair than that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I guess that's one thing I should be happy about genetically. I got decent face. Like my beard grows in pretty decently.
Yeah, mine looks like a pro wrestler. That's the way mine grows in.
Yeah, I there are a lot of people that have really scraggly, shitty looking beards where it just looks like pubes instead of hair, which is very unfortunate. Okay, something you know what? I think I talked enough. Did you have some stuff you wanted to bring up before I move on?
Well, one, because I now have like access to a free chat GPT, so I ask it to do very stupid things all the time.
Oh, that's actually on my list of things I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it'll lead into yours because it's really quick. I asked ChatGPT to mix both Lovecraftian and blaxploitation tropes.
That's good.
Because I kind of want to like write something, but I couldn't collect my thoughts.
Well, so I'm
using it as a tool, as a jumping off point.
And that's what it should be used for, and I think it will be used for in the future when we get to all the shit gets muddled through. That's where it'll be. It'll be a tool.
Yeah, it's just an organizer for me.
Yeah,
and I didn't know it could do like base coding, so I thought that was really cool too.
Dude, not only can it do base coding, it can. One of my buddies that's also in the same line of work as me he shared a thread with me with ChatGPT where he asked it to write some code, gave it to him. Then he asked it, hey, I need it to do this, modified it. Hey, I want it to run when this happens. Okay. You know what? I don't want it to run every time that happens. I want it to, like, if there's a batch of that action happening, I want it to happen at the end of the batch, not every time the batch did that. Made it do all these changes through the text thread, popped it in, worked perfectly.
Yeah, ChatGPT will be amazing for coding.
It's fucking nuts.
Unfortunately, it'll put a lot of coders out of work.
I
but you need coders to edit it.
Yes, I think it'll be a tool to it's funny because this is I wanted to talk to you offline about this conversation, but I really want to go that route with my business in marketing web development. I want to go the route of not saying we use AI for everything, but like we harness the power of AI as a tool. Like we can get things done faster.
The tool that actually is, instead of like being this like thing that's going to take everybody's job.
And not hey, we're going to use AI to write our code, but hey, when we're having trouble figuring out a bug with a code, we're going to run it through AI and see if that fixes it for us. So we're not wasting 3 hours of your time. It's just
another tool. That's literally it's utility.
I actually have so I'm going to plug right now, scooppods.com that I set up. Which is a directory of all the scoops from Ice Cream Social's podcast fans, all their pods. I have a bug with one of the codes. I have it so it's set up to pull in the latest episode from each RSS feed. There's a certain RSS or podcasting provider that adds this extra snippet into the RSS feed for the title of the episode, and it's glitching out my code to pull the latest episode, so it's not showing the title. I'm going to run it through ChatGPT and say, hey, when I use this code, if this is the field in the data feed, it's glitching out. Can you fix it? I'm going to see if it'll fix it. I'll report back on that.
Okay.
Because it's just like that's dope. Like, okay, I don't know why it's doing that. I ran it through a couple of my coders. They can't figure out why it's doing that. Let's see if ChatGPT just fix it rather than wasting hours.
Oh, cool. I'm just going to read one of the things from the Blaxploitation Lovecraftian thing that came up with, only because exciting. This made me laugh out loud. Mind you, I have a sinus infection, so when I laughed, it just turned into like a weird hackle cough. But
sorry, folks.
If you know anything about Lovecraft, there's a creature named Shib-Niggurath. Shib-Niggurath.
What'd you say? What'd you call me?
Yeah, I know, right? Shib-Niggurath is basically called the black goat with 1,000 young. I know. I'm sure Lovecraft had a field day just saying that name over and over again.
I'm not saying it.
But essentially, it's just like this floating black cloud of teeth and eyes and shit.
Of course, it's a black cloud.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry. All right, I'll stop interrupting you.
That's constantly giving birth and is this gross creature. And it's actually one of my favorite Lovecraftian creatures because it's like an amorphous blob. But it named it Shib-Niggurath. That's ChatGPT wrote it because you can make AI racist really easily.
Well, yeah, that's been the trend. Anytime anyone's tried to put out any AI anything over the years,
yeah. But a monstrous and insatiable entity that feeds on the fears and anxieties of humanity. Okay, Shib-Niggurath takes on the appearance of a massive pulsating afro, for which tendrils of dread extend.
Oh, that's good.
I just imagine this giant afro that slightly opens on the top and dreadlocks come out.
Like one of the fucking aliens coming out of the pod, like its
exactly.
arms reach out first. Yeah.
One tendril is always holding a spliff. Like, it's just...
That's great. Oh, keep going.
Like, this was like the best. Like all of the rest of them are kind of like I need to play with them to make them like funny or like fit the theme. But that one came out.
That's so good.
I don't even think it meant to say like tendrils of dread. I think it meant dread as an anxiety dread.
But it's
the
even
fact that
better.
It's an afro.
It's better your way. It's a double entendre. Works perfectly.
It was so good.
That is really fucking good.
This tickled me. Well, I loved it, and I'm going to continue with this idea.
Yeah, that's really good. That's excellent. I literally got this update last night for Plus users. ChatGPT just rolled out 2 things. Maybe 3. 2 that I can think of off the top of my head that are important. No, 3. Sorry. One, they added a conversation mode, which is cool. It's just like a Google Assistant or Siri, right? Like you could talk back
Yeah.
and forth to it, which is cool. But the other 2 things are they added the option to upload a photo, so you can upload a photo and ask questions regarding the photo. So I could picture, I don't know. I mean, the example I think I heard used was like upload a picture of your gym, right? Your home gym.
Yeah.
What exercises can I do with this equipment? Which is cool, but also integration with Dolly so that you can ask it to generate photos. So you can imagine going through to create a storybook or a storyboard or something. You could
Yeah.
ask it to generate like the outline. Okay, show me what this creature looks like. Have it generate the picture for you. All right, cool. Make these changes to it. Like just talk through the whole thing and have everything generated for you through ChatGPT. It's crazy. And again, just using it necessarily not to generate all the final artwork, but all the, like I said, like the storyboard stuff. Like, all right, here's the concept art. Now we're going to go ahead and have real people create what it should be. You know, here's a few examples. And that's
speaking of, sorry, go on.
That's just quick. That's the way I see it happening. That's the way I want to use it, right? Like if I'm doing a logo, hey, you know what? Rather than having to wait a couple days and spend a lot of money on initial comps, why don't we generate some designs through AI? I can ask AI to spit out 15 quick examples that are going to look not great, but are going to be something to play with.
And
send them over
to you.
Artist
to do it.
Right. Send those 15 over to you. Say, okay, which of these do you think look okay? And then once we have those, then we go from that and create the real ones with a real artist. So we're saving time. We're not, we're both on the turnaround and on hours build. So it's just going to work out better. Anyway.
Speaking of AI, really quick, I don't know any of the details, so I'm not going to go fully into it. But the writer's strike apparently had ended. There's still the Screen Actors Guild strike still going on. But the Writers Guild, I think they already came to a conclusion.
The Writers Guild did. The Screen Actors Guild, I thought the Screen Actors Guild was only striking because they were doing it in solidarity with the Writers Guild.
I think that there's still some terms that they came with.
Okay, got
as
it.
Well, you know, in solidarity.
Right. Makes sense.
And
yeah,
I think they're still in not the strike, but I'm sorry, the negotiations.
Negotiations.
That's
okay,
what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah, the Writers Guild's definitely over because John Oliver, which is one of my favorite shows, was new this past Sunday and was a fucking fantastic episode. I fucking love that guy. I love that show. It's so fucking good, so funny, so informative. But yeah, they were back, so that's great. I mean, it's good that. I'm curious. I don't know if they've released specifics on what was discussed, but yeah, the AI was a big sticking point, and I just thought, you know, you're never going to get studios to agree to just completely write off the idea of using AI. We've talked about it before,
which I don't blame them for not give up on AI.
Because it can be used as a tool, can make things more efficient. So for them to just blanket say we're never going to use it it's not going to happen. You can make agreements on how you're going to use it, but you're not going to get them to say they're not going to use it. And I think it's silly to ask that, but you know, I'll have to look into that more and see what the details were. I don't know if they released any specifics. I think they did, but okay. I don't remember. You know what? I follow a lot of people on Instagram who were part of it, like who are writers, right?
And comedians. So
yeah, me too.
Most comedians are writers.
Mm-hmm.
So generally, I think I might have gotten my information from what they said.
Okay.
As opposed to,
I saw a lot of that
source.
I did read a couple articles, but I don't remember any specifics. But it was like when it first happened, so it was just, hey, they've come to an agreement, strike's over. That was what they were reporting on. So they may not have had specifics at that point. But yeah, that's a good idea. I want to look into that a little more as well, and kind of get a better idea of what's going on with that.
Yep. Another thing is a Cyrax update.
Oh, we need like a jingle
for Cyrax. I don't know how much longer. I think I'm starting to burn out with my tolerance for shit people right now.
You mean that scuzzy, horrible human being goat man is starting to wear on you?
Well, then not just him, just people in general. Like I find myself getting really stressed out about dealing with people. So I might have to take a break from it, but there is an update.
Social media? What do you mean?
No, just not
people?
from social media, because I'm not really into social media. Like I'm starting to get to a point where I don't want to talk to people I do like. Like, if you've noticed, when you text me, I don't text much.
Oh, I just assumed maybe you were sleeping last night
And
because I sent you like 6 texts
no,
at once.
it's been happening for the last 3 weeks. It's because I've hit a real high stress level.
Gotcha.
And so my tolerance for things that I enjoy are extremely low.
Oh, I understand that.
And so, like, when I have a love-hate thing with, like, lolcows, and, like, it's a fascination more than it is an enjoyment. I find it amusing,
Well,
but it makes the more unamusing things more tolerable.
I mean, I can totally relate to that with we've talked about the TLC shows. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's more fascination than entertainment. You're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and since it's sterilized for those shows, I find it less tolerant. I have a less of a tolerance for it.
Right.
Where, like, with Cyrax shit is more raw. This is like who this shitty person is, and the fact that he's real.
Sure, yeah. It's not there's no scripting, there's no retakes or anything like that. It's just this is just a shitty human being.
I could tolerate him repeating himself. Because he does that ad nauseum. But overall, that does wear on me when I'm in this emotional state.
I get it.
So that I'll have to take a break from. But there's a real tangible update, because Cyrax is still talking shit this whole time, and people are like, is going to go to court, and his court date was dismissed. His trial was dismissed.
For what purpose or what reason?
The person who was the guy aware of myself when I last spoke about it, the guy that he hit with the baseball bat, the one that was pressing charges, pussed out, essentially.
Just was like, yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, he's just like, because a lot goes into going to court.
Sure.
And he doesn't live in the state.
Oh,
so he's going to have to drive from back and forth.
Well, that's dumb fuck. Why would you even have started it at that point?
Well, that's what I'm saying. People started saying it like this. And mind you, I kind of put it on everybody who's been fucking with Cyrax as well. Yeah. Because it's a thing called, like, touching the poop. And Aware of Myself touch the poop. You can look at the poop. You can laugh at the poop. Don't touch the poop.
Yeah, okay. Wait. Where'd you? I've never heard that before.
That's an online thing.
Really? I've never heard it before.
It's an online thing that that some people say, and I think it might be on from a forum, but it makes sense.
No, it does,
because you're gonna end up with shit on your hands.
Yeah.
And nobody wins.
It's absolutely.
And a lot of people who follow lolcows, like myself, don't interact with them directly, at least on purpose.
I hope not. Yeah, I'd be a little worried if you did start
if I started trolling somebody like him in real life, there's something actually wrong with me, and I might be a pod person, because it's just not my. Yeah. Like, I'll talk shit about him. If by weird chance I get called out by Cyrax at some point, I might give him like a backhanded shout out, like, fuck you, pedophile. Like, some shit like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to, like, get into it with somebody to the point where I'm going to travel there and fight with him. The guy, Marty, that I called him his handler, I think that he's kind of an enabler at some point. Like, as time goes on, like, yeah, I'm amused by you, Marty, but you're a one-trick pony now too.
Yeah.
And then you don't hold your same standards because you introduce yourself to another lolcow who's directly had something to do with messing around with kids, but you're not holding him to the same fire as you did Cyrax.
Right.
And I'm like, the one reason why we backed you is because we thought you had some kind of morals. And now, because it's the internet, there's going to be people who are just loyal to you because you fucking exist. And I don't get that shit at all.
That's just the way people work.
Like,
I don't get it either.
Yeah, you punched Cyrax. Okay, cool. You punched Cyrax. But there's this other guy who literally had was on Discord, fucking farming children, essentially, like grooming them. And this guy you're playing chess with.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Like, and he shows no accountability. He has the same issues as Cyrax.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah.
So, that's another guy who I am amused by, but I find him insufferable. But regardless,
it's the train wreck thing, man. It's the same,
Yeah,
it's no different.
So regardless, yeah, it was dismissed because Aware Myself backed out, and he openly said like I was on shrooms. I'm like, dude, if you
What?
I think he put up this whole post before he erased it. If you want to look for it, it's on YouTube. You can just look up, Cyrax with 2 X's drama, or court dismissal. Base Shaman is probably the best person I watched talking about it. Him or Saturated Content. There's a bunch of guys that talk about it, and the consensus is that Aware Myself put up this post online saying, dude, like I'm high on shrooms, or I don't want to be not high on shrooms for the court case and this, that, and the other. Like, he says some stupid shit. I'm like, bro, you are a fucking laughing stock, right?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And you just made Cyrax think that he's more correct, which is the worst thing. The worst thing about this is that now Cyrax feels like he's been vindicated for all the stupid shit. Mind you, the smallest victory with Cyrax is that we think deep down he knows that he's full of shit. But then when he doesn't get in trouble for bad things, it just reinforces that bad fucking mentality.
A lot of people like that, I don't think they have any self-awareness at all.
It's very possible. But it's still a small victory to think so, because people still fuck with him and fight with him. So there at least is that thought that most people feel that deep down he knows he's full of shit.
You're still thinking about me, though. That's that mindset, too. Like, maybe you don't like me, but you're still thinking about me.
So it was a really dumb waste of time. I know people wanted to see him go to jail. I didn't think anything was going to happen, to be really honest. I wasn't hyping it up or anything. I thought it was funny. He might go to jail, but I was at least hoping he'd go to court and get into a little bit of trouble with a judge because he couldn't shut his fucking mouth.
Well, that would be just a great video.
That would be a great video. That's what I was hoping would happen. He just wouldn't be able to shut the fuck up. He would start telling the judge off. He would be in contempt of court, and they'll hold him. They'll find him in contempt of court and put him in jail for a month, or put him on house arrest or some shit. Something small, or community service, just something.
That's a category.
Sorry, go on.
That's a category of videos I haven't gotten. I haven't watched in a while. Court, fun, crazy court videos or crazy shit that happens in courtrooms. Those are really good. Man. Those, and I always liked the ones where they they have all the interrogation videos of murderers and stuff, and they kind of go through it, and they're like, oh, here they are talking about how they killed the person. They don't realize there's a fucking camera in the room,
right?
Recording everything they say. So stupid.
The last court video I saw was this crazy fucking dude, black dude, who looked like a cross between Gumby and a palm tree. And he's Malcolm X speeching in the courtroom.
I need to
he's defending himself. Oh, he's Malcolm X speeching to the court about how he didn't kill his wife in front of his child, and then cross-examined his own fucking child.
Oof, that's rough.
He's fucking piece of fucking shit.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's a pretty terrible thing to do. I need to go. Maybe that's what I'll YouTube later. If I can't sleep, I'll look for more some court videos.
Oh man. But yeah, so other than that, last thing, which is I'm actually happy to say, is I finally got to sit down and watch, since I'm sick, kind of have a hard time moving around a lot. I got to sit down and watch Castlevania Nocturne.
Wait, now is that a whole new series?
This is a new. Okay, so it's Nocturne because it's 300 years later.
Okay.
So it's the same story.
It's a sequel series, kind of.
But yeah, because Castlevania is a anthology.
Sure.
With different Belmonts down the line.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of the show. I mean, I'm intimately familiar with the video games, but not so much with the.
Then you will love the show.
Oh yeah, I should check it out.
It's
anime style, right?
It's American anime.
Okay, because that's what always throws me off. Because anytime I try to watch anything anime, I never can get into it.
The voice performances are amazing. The new season, the animation is way better, and they rotoscope their combat sequences.
Okay,
so the movements are just. Mwah,
all right, I'll have to check it out. Not that I've never. I liked Berserk. I watched Berserk years
Okay,
ago,
I mean,
and I
way
really
back in
liked
the day.
that.
Berserk is a classic.
Yeah, I always liked that. But other than that, I always have a really hard time. There's a
No,
couple
I think
manga
you
I
would like
read.
Castlevania. It's not. It doesn't have any of the Japanese melodrama, which
Okay.
is what turns me off from anime.
Yeah,
Like
you know
I
what?
can like
That's
anime, but it's the
accurate.
melodrama. The Japanese style of melodrama, I just don't like. Where like for 3 episodes, somebody's like, "But my friends," like I can't.
You know
For
what? I
3
agree.
fucking episodes, stop. Dragon Ball Z is the only show I can watch that shit with, and that's because it's like watching wrestling.
Dragon
It's
Ball
just
Z is like watching wrestling.
it is.
You're right. You're right.
Big muscly dudes, half naked muscly dudes, like fucking berating each other from across the ring, pummeling each other, and then talking more shit, and then pummeling each other again, while people on the side announce the moves that they are doing.
That's pretty accurate. You're pretty spot on there.
Like, so that's literally just, and I like that shit. That shit's hilarious to me. I fucking love it. And the little gay part of me thinks it's kind of cool to see muscly men beat each other up.
Me too. That's
So-
with pro wrestling. That's why. That's
Yeah, it's just like
pro wrestling.
the little gay me is like a little lord, just like
Every once in a while,
let the
you're watching,
muscle-bound
you're
men
just like,
fight.
man, look
Like-
at the size of that guy. And you're like,
dude. Yeah, you're just like, that fucking dude's huge.
holy,
Like,
that dude is ripped. Holy
like
fucking shit.
look at his rippling biceps and goddamn. Like,
He is
the only
so
thing that doesn't make
shiny.
it gay, that instead of wanting to be inside of him, I want to be him.
Yeah,
like
oh,
that's
yeah.
the only thing that keeps it from being gay.
You're right. That is pretty much the line, isn't it?
It's just like
You're on one side of the line or the other.
just saying. I think that's where the
Oh wait, no, sorry. I don't want to get in trouble for claiming something binary.
I think that's like where the spectrum goes a
You
little
know what
bit
I
further
mean.
into dark
You
than
know what-
gray.
You know what I mean. You know what I meant. I didn't
know.
mean literally like.
Hey,
you know.
hey, literally a spectrum is literally a series of lines. That's all a spectrum is.
That's true.
It's just
you're
a
right.
fucking series of closely attached lines.
It's very true.
So
You're right.
you're always crossing a line in a spectrum.
That's true.
So
All
let's be realistic here.
right. Oh shit.
but Castlevania Nocturne, since they're short series and the animation, they put a lot of money into animation. I understand why it always moves at a breakneck speed. Like
Yeah.
even Castlevania, the first one's like that.
I like that though. I like that.
But
I don't like
you're
things.
devouring your content in a timely fashion.
Yeah, I don't like when things are drawn out. Like I hate when I watch something and I'm like, those 3 seasons could have easily been 1. Like,
Yep.
you did
They
not
have-
need to do that.
I think the most episodes they've had in like the original Castlevania was probably like 12 in one season, and that was it. And that
How-
season was split in half.
How many seasons were there?
I think there were 4
Yeah, I didn't think it was a high
in the
number.
first one. It's not a
I'll
lot.
have to
and,
watch it.
Like one season's like 6 episodes, then 5 episodes, then 12 episodes, then 2 episodes. Like it's really, it doesn't make sense, but I think it's based on the animation budget.
I need something new that I watch myself because I finally
Yeah.
finished every Law and Order episode ever. All like
my God.
460.
My
of them.
wife is way behind you, but she was
Well,
doing
she's
the same
watching
thing,
SVU, you
so-
said, right?
She is watching SVU.
So
yes.
that was my thought. I was like, should I start SVU next? Because I had only watched the first, I don't know, 10, 11 seasons of SVU before I stopped
Yeah.
watching it. And I didn't realize there's like 25 now. I was like,
Oh,
holy
SVU,
fuck.
no,
How did
SVU
it
is
get
just
that
not
big?
gonna die. Until Mariska Hargitay fucking retires or dies, there's no fucking way that show's going
No.
anywhere.
Oh, we actually had a conversation, my wife and I, about SVU last night. We were talking about how SVU had more like fleshed out characters, where Law and Order was just kind of rotating. Like, it's just
Yeah.
this is the DA, this is the cop. We can rotate them in and out. It doesn't matter. They don't have their own personalities. They don't have their own stories. And part of me I like the procedural and like not bringing any drama into it. That's kind of why I stopped watching SVUs, because they got too much of that, their individual personal lives brought in. But I liked that they were characters. They weren't just
Yeah.
like this replaceable, job.
When they replaced somebody, you felt the hole.
Right.
Like,
the
that's-
original cast with, I'm not technically original. Ice-T came in season 2, but Ice-T,
Mhm.
Richard Belzer,
Richard
uh,
Belz. Oh, well, rest in peace, that dude.
Mariska Hargitay, Christopher Maloney, Dan Florek. They were like each their own
The team.
person.
They were the team.
Yeah, and like you cared equally about each one of them. You didn't have like these throwaway B characters, even though technically, Mariska Hargitay and Christopher Maloney were the
when they
main.
do that with the when they do that with the DA, like when they switch the DAs, even them, they give them so much personality that you can notice when they're
Stephanie
gone.
March was awesome DA.
The
I was so upset
best, right?
when she left, and and then Diane Neal came in, and I thought she was great, and then she
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh my god,
yeah.
Like SVU was lightning in a bottle for Law and Order.
Yeah, I think maybe I will go back to the beginning to watch that, because I think there's a lot of things I don't remember or I missed. We were talking about it. I was flipping through the channels and landed on something that had SVU on, and it was some early episode because Michelle Hurd was on it, and I think she was only on the very first season, or she might have been on seasons 1 and 2. I think the fucking Allstate Mayhem guy. I think, what the hell's his name? Dean something.
Oh, I don't know his name, but I
think he was the one that was
that guy.
He was only in season 1, and then Ice-T replaced him, and I think Michelle Hurd left after season 2. I could be wrong, but I was like, yeah, I don't really remember this, so maybe I will have to go back. But I felt so accomplished. I say accomplished when I wasted hours of my life on the first Law and Order. I was like, I finally finished all the episodes. There's even more SVU episodes.
For me, like, Ice-T has been acting for years, and I still have to say SVU was the show in which he learned how to act.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he did stuff before, like New Jack City.
Did we talk on the podcast about the Law and Order TV movie that he was in?
No, I don't think you mentioned it. Maybe.
Law and Order did a one-off TV movie. It's the only thing they did outside the main series that was in that universe for the original series. It was a one-off movie with, what the fuck's his name? The guy that played Mr. Big. Christopher North? Is that his name?
I don't know.
Whatever he is. He was in the first couple seasons. But Ice-T played this pimp dude. And he was like, he was so
in his pimp phase.
He was so stereotypical.
In his real pimp phase.
Yeah,
Ice-T was a pimp, right?
Yeah, but it was like so stereotypical the way he's like, I gotta get them papers, blah. It was like so bad. I was like, oh, come on. Bad. And I was just laughing because I was like, he got a lot better after he did SVU.
That's the thing. You know, the same thing. Fucking Shaquille O'Neal.
Did he ever act well?
He acts. A good actor, in my opinion, is one who's believable in whatever they're doing.
I agree.
Most basketball players don't even feel believable when they're talking on an interview.
That's true. Did you see Space Jam 2?
I refuse. I refuse.
That shit was fucking awful.
I fucking refuse. The fact that Don Cheadle would be the only reason why I would watch that movie.
Oh yeah.
And the problem with Don Cheadle is he wears his actual emotions on his sleeve when he acts.
He does.
So you could tell if he's having fun or not.
Yeah, you're right. He was not having fun in that movie. I could tell. I thought my favorite part of the movie was that LeBron James has his family in the movie, but they're cast. They're not his real family.
They're not his real family.
I love that. I had to look it up because I was like,
that's so funny to me.
I was like, wait, they cast his family? Like all of them?
His son is a main character. He's supposed to be his pride and joy. He doesn't give a shit about his real son.
It's not his real son. I was just like, wait, what? Even Will Smith has his real son and everything. Come on, man. He was a terrible actor when he started, and he still put him in the movies. Anyway.
Oh my god. But I feel like Jaden became an actor in reverse.
We talked about that.
He used to be able to act as a child.
We did talk about that. We've talked about that before. That oh my god. What's the fucking movie where Will Smith is poor?
In the Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness. Yeah, you mentioned, you had pointed out to me that was Jaden, and I was like, oh damn, I didn't even realize that was him in there.
Yep, that was when Jaden was Huey Freeman. That's really like the look was just there. But back to Ice-T and his ever moistened ponytail. Like
he got rid of the ponytail.
I know, because he started going bald.
Oh, is that why he got rid of it?
If you have a ponytail, okay, so ponytails pull on your hairline.
Yeah, but didn't he have more of like a rat tail than a ponytail?
It was like he was stringing together all his hairs together, and he gelled them perfectly down.
Yeah, but I remember when he cut it, it looked like he had. Oh, that's TV magic. That wasn't real.
Yeah,
yeah. I forget.
Makeup and everything. Like
it threw me off when
he probably tried to prevent his hairline from going back, so he got rid of the tail and just left it.
I never really thought about how much they adjust. They deal with balding on TV shows and stuff. I forget. I think it was like WrestleMania or SummerSlam recently. I put it on, and John Cena was wrestling, and he's got a giant bald spot in the back.
Yeah, right in the back of his head.
Holy shit,
Huge
he's really
fucking
bald
spot.
And then everything he's in, he's got a full head of hair, and you don't even notice that it's not his hair. And I was like, oh, well, damn, they really touched that shit up.
Patch,
yeah, they really touched that shit up when they put him in movies and TV now.
Nothing in Hollywood is real.
I know, but I never
land of illusions.
I never actively thought about it, I guess is what I'm
No, that's the thing. But that's the thing. If you don't even think about it, that's the magic.
Yeah, I'm just stupid.
But the fact that you're pondering like, when did he go bald?
Yeah, it's like I don't remember it thinning. It's just like, does he did just a clump fall out at once? Did he take some like bad drugs or something?
Dude, we are way past the days of like when Bruce Willis had to come to terms with the fact that he was going bald.
That's true. I mean, it
was a big deal in Hollywood.
I see those fucking commercials every day now that tell me that I don't have to lose my hair, and it's not the 80s anymore, not the 90s. I forget what the commercial says.
My hair is gone. There's no like saving it. Like,
well, I think, I mean, I have a little fuzz left, so I can get away when it's really short. It doesn't look as bad as it could, I guess. But did I tell you about the what was he? I think he was a nurse practitioner that I talked to, and he told me about his hair transplant. Yes,
you did.
I talked about that on the podcast, didn't I? Yeah.
I don't know if it was on the podcast, but I do remember you telling me.
Well, just quick. He mentioned to me, I mentioned I was losing my hair, and he told me he went to Turkey, and it was like $3,000. And he got the hair transplant, and he was like, it basically got a all expenses Mediterranean vacation for $3,000. He was like, and then the hair transplant was just like free. Like, I got to go to the Mediterranean Sea for a week for $3,000, and the hair transplant. I just said the same thing 2 different ways. Yeah. I don't know how I did that. For
me, I comically don't want to do like a hair transplant and end up with like white guy hair.
What's that supposed to mean?
No, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just know that that's like super obvious.
No.
So like I come back and I have like straight, like I look Dominican, dude, like straightish hair.
Why would it be straight? They take it.
I don't know how they fucking do it.
They like take it from your ass or something. It's your hair.
I don't have hair on my ass.
I don't know what it's your hair. Like I think they take it from like
like I don't know, the base of your neck or like I don't know how they fucking do it. Yeah. I don't know like what samples and shit they use.
I'm pretty sure it's still yours.
I've given up on my hair.
Yeah, me too.
In high school. So there was
me too. Like I was 18, 19, and I was just like, that's it. I'm used to it now. Like if I all of a sudden had a full vibrant head of hair, people would be like, what the fuck?
My thing is like, if I did anything, I would do some weird, horrible, cannibalistic shit. It'd be like, my son, I must harvest his hair. Like I would do some crazy shit like that.
Can you stick some stem cells in my skull or something like that?
Because my son has great hair.
Holy
does. Shit.
He's got a good fucking head of hair.
I love his hair. Everybody loves his hair except for him, which I get it.
Why doesn't he like his hair?
Because it's hot.
Oh, right.
But like, buddy, when the winter hits, you'll never have to wear a hat.
He does have great hair. Like, I mean, I would fucking kill for that head of hair.
Like his hair is. I wish I had that hair at his age.
Me too.
My dad would used to shave my head bald, which is probably another reason why I gave up, because my dad just shaved my head instead of doing anything with it.
Right.
Or give me a flat top. That was it.
I want to see you with a flat top.
I refuse to show you a childhood photo.
Oh, come on. I really want to see this. I want to see what the kid play. Oh, shit. Okay. I wanted to mention one more thing before we talk about our topic. Is it one more thing? Maybe more than one more thing. I don't know. Okay. This drove me nuts. I have to bring this up because you'll appreciate this. I was talking to my neighbor at the bus stop the other day, and she tells me about this thread on Facebook of one of her girlfriends had put up, and I had her send me a link. So the link is she put up a video of her kid going to get on the bus and a car just not stopping for the bus, just fucking blowing right past the bus. The bus driver honked really loud, and then the dude like backs up to back before the bus. But that wasn't the point. She was like, this is the 5th time it's happened, and it's only been like 2 weeks of school. Like what is wrong with people? But that wasn't the point of the threat of why she sent it to me. The people in the comments on this thread we're like
excusing the guy?
Yeah, we're just straight up like, well, that kid should be fucking hurrying up anyway, or well, the kid should be careful. It shouldn't be the driver's
What the fuck is wrong with the internet,
dude? And like, why has he got a backpack on? He should be carrying his books. Like, why is he wearing? What a pussy! Why is he wearing his backpack?
Okay, that sounds like trolling.
That sounds like trolling.
Like a whole bunch.
But it was like a bunch of shit like that, and I'm just, who are these fucking people that are on this local woman's Facebook post about how people aren't stopping for the fucking bus? But people, just excusing it like, oh, they shouldn't have to stop. It's a stupid law. Like, well, the kid's on the other side of the bus anyway. Like, all this other shit. And I'm just like, how is not everybody just going, yeah, that sucks. Like, that dude really should have stopped. Yeah. How is that not unanimous?
I said this to myself yesterday. The internet makes idiots of us all. And
I guess.
Fucking true. Because if they are not, no, fuck trolls. If they're trolls, fuck them. Because being contrarian is not cool. I'm sorry, you're just a dick.
Yes, it is. I mean, not cool. It's being a dick. I didn't mean that it's cool. I meant that it is being a dick. Oh, dude, I got into a Facebook fight last night with somebody over.
How did that go?
It was a very simple conversation. There's an app I use. I won't even say the name. That the point of the app is they summarize nonfiction books in like a 15-minute clip. So it's like, hey, if you don't have time, I read a lot of books, but I don't get to read every book I want to read. And there are books that I'm like, yeah, I'm interested, but I'm never going to read it. So you can get like key points. They'll give you the key points of the book, key themes of the book, so that you get some of the information. Sure, of course, it's not the same as reading the fucking book, but it can give you some key points and some maybe. And you
still have the option to read the book if you want to.
Right. But, I may learn a few things I didn't know before, right? So some guy, it was a whole thread of people blasting it like, this doesn't do what it says. But I'm like, it fucking does exactly what it says. I've used it many times. And this one guy was just like, yeah, this app looks really stupid. Like, Masterclass is such a better thing. And my response was just, hey, this isn't Masterclass. Masterclass is the anthology video series taught by a subject matter expert on a particular subject. Mm-hmm. It's hours long, and it's meant to be it's like consuming a book.
Master class.
Right. I'm like, that's not the same as an app that's meant to summarize an entire book in 15 minutes and give you key points. They're not apples to apples at all. Like, I don't know why you're comparing that. And you clearly haven't used the app because you said this looks stupid. So, maybe try it before you knock it. I was just getting irritated because I'm like, I don't understand why these people are shitting on this. I don't like it. And like, he got into the typical argument with me, started trying to use, a lot of big fancy sentences and like, well, actually, blah, blah, blah. And then essentially it was like, essentially called me an idiot and, he made it sound really verbose and nice, but he's essentially called me an idiot. And I said, okay, well, if you're just going to just ad hominem attack me and not actually respond to my point, then I guess I'm done. And he's like, actually, that's not ad hominem. That's a non sequitur, blah, blah. And I was like, no, dude, it's an ad hominem. That's what I meant. And I was like, I guarantee I had to do it because I knew it. I was like, I guarantee you're a fucking liberal because you think you're smarter than me and you're not willing to change your opinion or even look at anything. And then he got really mad and he was like, whatever, you go pray to your orange god, you fucking QAnon.
Oh, he just assumed.
Yeah. And then I responded and I said, thank you for playing the game with me and proving exactly what I thought. I was like, I don't support Trump. I hate Trump. I'm not a QAnon guy, but you immediately assume that's why, because I don't agree with you.
And I called you a liberal because that's what you fucking act like.
Right. And he got so mad and then he erased everything.
There are other people other than the right and the left.
After I posted, thanks for playing the game and you proved exactly what I set out to, he just deleted everything. And I felt so satisfied. But yeah, I couldn't believe all these posts about this kid, like just shitting on an 8-year-old kid. Like, what the Anyway,
the internet literally, like, I don't know what it is, but people end up in their bubbles, and I don't know if they cover it in markers so they can't see outside of it, but they just, it's the same mentality. I might have mentioned this before, where it's like when people are in their cars, they think that they're in a private area.
Yeah.
So they act as if
nobody's
everything
listening.
outside of the car is way far, like way out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, there's that exists. That's real.
That's definitely what the disconnect is. It's I'm sitting by myself and I'm private so I can say what I think and nobody's actually listening to me. and not realizing that people are listening to you and paying attention, and they may remember your name, you know, especially if you're posted on, if you're local and you're posted on a friend's page or something, they may remember that name, and then they meet you one day and they're like, oh, you're that asshole that posted this. You know,
if I was smart enough, I would totally develop an app that allows you to spy on yourself. And
just see what people
it'll have
say.
Like, well, yeah, that exactly,
dude. This is actually a good app idea. You just you go on the app and you punch in your information, and it goes through all your socials, and then it says, "Here's an AI generative synopsis of
assessment
the
on
type of person you show yourself to be." Yeah, yeah.
And even then, like, have another mode or whatever, maybe like a next step that says, this is knee-jerk reaction mode or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you post something and it'll stop you. Like, take a minute, reread what you said, and think about it.
Well,
and we will unlock this fucking message in like
I like
10
that.
minutes.
I like that better. Twitter did put something, or X, whatever the fuck it is now. I don't actually know if it's still there. Elon Musk might have got rid of it. They did add a feature where if you posted something with something they thought, it would say like, most people don't like posts like this. Are you sure you want to post it? So like, if you use the word, like if I posted like, oh, you're such an idiot, or like, you're acting like a moron, it would say like, most people don't. Are you sure you want to post this? And I actually would stop and go, yeah, why am I posting this? I don't need to post this. Who cares? Right?
Yeah. Like, it's not going to stop everybody, but the very fucking least it'll.
But it did. It made me think like, why am I posting, telling this person they're a moron? I don't know who they
fall
are.
For that.
Right.
Sensible people can fall for being an idiot.
And me too.
Like, it's a natural thing, but not everybody wants to present themselves, because it only takes one real idiotic interaction to just fuck up a lot of things.
Yeah, it's a lot,
or to make you act more bold in your idiocy.
You're right. It's like people use that talk about addiction a lot that way. Like addiction can literally affect anyone. Like, anyone can become addicted. It's just it's not like one type of people. It's just, you're right, anybody can become an idiot for a moment. It can happen.
It's just super.
It's not exclusive.
I got called out on it because of my wording was really bad.
Okay.
But it really was, and that was just because I was being judgy, and I was just like, funny enough, it was Biff who called me out.
Biff.
Because I was just like, this guy doesn't take personal responsibility for anything. He goes, yeah, like all the other locals, right? I was like, okay, you got me.
That's true.
You got me there. You're absolutely right. I just had a personal interaction with him, and I felt a certain type of way after my interaction with him. But you're absolutely right. They're all like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
But I was wrong. I mean, it was a small thing, but it was like, okay, you're right.
Yeah, but at least you had the you had the self-realization to be like, yeah, that's true. And two, you didn't put your blinders on and just be like, nope, fuck that, not me. You were like,
yeah, I hate doubling down. So doubling down is just.
Ooh, we should do an episode on double downers. That's a good.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a good episode idea.
Just doubling down is such a shitty fucking habit that's been like real prevalent recently.
That's been real prevalent for me at my house with my children. Because
children double down because they're idiots.
Yes, I know that. But my daughter she's usually very amazingly behaved. I mean, 99.9% of the time. But when she gets herself in trouble, she can't help but doubling down. She just keeps going. And I keep trying to. She did the other day, and
your son.
I tried to have
my son is a lot like your daughter in that way.
Yeah, I tried to have a conversation with her. Like, it took me, and I'm still trying to realize I need to shut the fuck up once in a while. Just know when to just shut my fucking mouth. And I still don't totally know when to do that.
In our last episode, we had I made a statement about, like, women not being able to shut their mouth sometimes. Maybe it was a woman thing. I think I made an offhanded comment like that.
I don't remember.
And that was sticking with me for a while. I was like, I didn't mean it the way I said that. But I realized, no, it's just a personality type.
Yeah,
More
it
people
is.
who are like, and I don't mean A-type personality, like an asshole type personality is what usually people use it for, but people with like a extroverted personality tend to not know when to shut the fuck up.
I don't have that much of an extroverted personality
anymore.
You
do, though. You don't think you do, but you do. You are a more extroverted person than you give yourself credit for.
Why? Because it's relative to like when I was in my 20s. It's not even close.
That's when your core personality is built, though.
But I guess that's why in my head I think of myself as not being extroverted, because when I compare it to how I used to be, I'm like, I'm not anywhere near as much.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay, I understand.
So I guess that's what it really is. For me, it's relative. as opposed to an outsider looking at it that would might disagree. So I don't know. One more thing before we get into our topic, unless you got anything else. When did they change, or not change, but when did Monday become Indigenous People Day? Because it was pointed out to me the other day that it's not Columbus Day, it's Indigenous People Day. But then I looked and it's like actually both right now, kind of.
I get surprised every time there is no school. I never know.
You never know? I'll start texting you ahead of time.
But one thing I will say, I know the fight for changing Columbus Day to Indigenous People Day has been going on for the last like 10 some odd years, maybe even longer for like the indigenous people.
I don't recall hearing about
it. It's been a fight for a while because like it's been kind of piggybacking off of the truths behind Columbus being exposed.
Sure. Well, I always called it Native American Genocide Day. I've done that for years.
Because and the thing
but
is,
I guess I should call it Indigenous People Genocide Day now.
Well, right. I read a lot of, because I like saying Native Americans because they natively are from America.
Yeah, is that not a thing? You're not supposed to say
Indigenous,
that anymore? Also,
I get tongue tied with.
Yeah,
no, I think that's fine too.
Okay, I don't know these days. I never know.
Corporate-y way of saying it, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I
gotta be careful. I'm always off.
I have native by biology, not by culture. So
I'm always behind. So I'm trying to make sure I'm right.
I mean, look, I'd rather be a black guy behind than a white guy behind.
Yeah,
things like that.
You don't know how hard it is, man.
It's such a hard thing for
As
me.
a white man these days, it's very hard because I'm just attacked for everything I say, and I just sorry.
That would be such a great like Tubi movie sequel for White Man's Burden. If you've recognized that movie,
I know.
It's just like a white guy in today's climate who's trying to do his best, but it's just always a step behind on like the right terminology.
Dude, honestly, that's how I feel all the time. I always feel like I'm trying so hard to do the right thing and be as accommodating to as many people as possible, but I'm always just a little behind.
That is so exhausting. It is so.
It is.
That's the one plight of like white guys that like white. It's usually white guys that are trying.
I am trying, but
that
it's just
I feel bad for.
It's hard because sometimes I listen to me complain about being a white guy. Now I'm really doing it. Oh,
this is funny.
You did to me.
This is great.
Look what you did to me.
No, I wanted this. This is what I wanted.
It's just like it gets to the point sometimes where I'm just like I give up. Like I can't
please
win.
Everybody.
I can't please everybody. The rules are getting so hard to understand that I'm just like I give up. I don't know what to do anymore.
Here's the thing. As a black guy looking at that situation, for me, being known as like I'm generally a commodity. Since I speak the way I do, since I act the way I do, I'm not even considered a black guy to like the black culture because I'm like suburbanite. That's literally like I've been called an Oreo before, and that's the only way that.
Oh, really?
If you ever want to get me to fight somebody, that is the term. Like that's my N-word personally, being called an Oreo.
No, I get
that
it.
That pisses me off.
I understand.
Both my parents is black. I deal with black people problems all the time. I'm just
I
speak
get
sentences. I don't get. I love hip hop. I love the culture, but I'm not raised. I was never raised in it, so I don't fully have that.
To be clear, I can't empathize, but I totally sympathize and understand what you mean.
Yeah,
where your point's coming
from.
So
being called not black is a way that just pisses me off because I'm like, if I had a fucking choice, I still would be the race that I am now, or skin color that I am now, because I'm fine with it.
Sure.
But fuck you for diminishing all the shit that I went through because you don't understand it.
Yeah, that's fucked. Yeah, I totally understand.
I get shit from
both sides.
All ends. That's why race commentary is so funny to me, and I can't take it too seriously because I used to.
Yeah.
Surely because context is purely missing. So as a black guy looking at your situation, I can understand where the frustration will come in because I deal with that in part, where I have to appease like black people who don't understand where I'm coming from, but I have to understand where they're coming from.
Like, I'll give you an example.
And that I can't fully relate to.
Right.
But I can relate to them on like discriminatory levels.
But they dismiss that.
But they dismiss that because white people tend to like me.
Sure. Yeah.
Like that still doesn't mean that they don't think that they're better than me.
Well,
certain ones don't. Like it's the same fucking problem.
I mean, you could get into. I mean, that's
and the system doesn't give a shit.
Isn't that kind of at the core of the whole affirmative action debate now, where people are
Well,
like,
yeah.
it's the same thing. Like, oh, well, there's a lot of black people that have privileged lives now and are wealthy and do well, and they don't need affirmative action, but there are still people that maybe do need it. And I like the idea of maybe just make it economic based. I don't know. I don't want to get into
I don't want to be used as
that.
one of, and there's an extra pressure on my end where I don't want to be used as one of the good ones.
No, we've talked about that.
Yeah, I don't want to be used. I've been called that, and I think it's funny as a joke, but in true honesty, I don't want to be used as that. So if I get pedestaled by a white person in that like position,
right,
that puts a pressure on me where like, fuck.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Like, and I'm not trying to become like a Ben Carson. Is it Ben Carson? Whatever his fucking name is, the shitty fucking judge, Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Like, don't want to be a Clarence Thomas where I betray like what I grew up with, what I grew up going through.
Right.
And so I take that empathy that I have because I grew with like not necessarily fitting in with anybody in that regard. And I kind of apply it to kind of the modern day lower to middle class white guy who's trying. Like I can see if they're actively trying to treat everybody respectfully.
Right. Yeah.
And you can tell when somebody's genuine. That's why like when you being genuine matters more than being correct, in my opinion.
I could not possibly agree more. That's like, I mean, I say it all the time. Like, just like, don't ever give me shit because I am absolutely going to try. And in my heart, I certainly want to do the right thing. So like, please, I mean, again, I was going to say, to give you an example, I saw somebody I know posted their, like not a class, but like, I don't know, not a lecture or like an intro to the gender spectrum. And I struggle really hard understanding it. Like my brain can't make sense of it. Like I can't understand it. And I was like, well, maybe I should go to that so I can like better understand, actually maybe have an understanding. Cause in my head, I'm just like, I can't understand it. The concept is so, it just doesn't work in my head. I can't figure it out. Like whenever I read about it, I don't understand. I don't understand where they're coming from. Or so I'm like, I want to. And then I'm like, man, it's like a lot of work to have to go out of my way to go to something to understand something that doesn't apply to me.
Doesn't affect your life.
That's what I mean. Like, doesn't apply to my life at all.
Just so you can be more accepting of other people's lives.
Right.
That is a big to do. The sheer fact that you want to should be commended.
Sure.
And I don't mean like you should get a pat on the back.
No, I know.
Like, somebody pat your nuts for that. But
I mean,
overall,
I'd like somebody to pat my nuts.
I'm not offering.
Oh, God damn it.
But overall, but at the sheer fact that don't give you shit for existing.
Right.
At the very fucking least.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. But I don't know. Maybe I just need to read more. Maybe I don't need to go take a class.
Now, I'm going to try to coin something for political types that like get into this kind of drama.
Okay.
You know how people call like liberals blue hairs, right?
Yep.
I now want to coin the term when speaking about both left and the right, the blue hairs and the red ties.
That's good. I like that.
And so we know exactly the types of people we're talking about because, Trump, famous red tie.
Yep.
So that's definitely that conservative psychopath.
The far sides of each.
The blue hair and the red ties. Because we all like branding.
I think most of the country is probably in the middle, and it's so weird to me that like that's never what's discussed. It's always these polarized ends that discuss. And granted, I think the polarized ends are a fair portion. I mean, they're not like 2%, like they're not that small, but the majority is still kind of in the middle. And
well, they all have the bullhorns. The middle.
Yeah, you're right.
Depending on whatever goes on.
We don't go out and just
left or right. Or
bullshit preach. We don't go out and preach. We're just like, yeah. We just think what we think on different things. We don't go out and we're on this side. We agree with everything they say, and we're fucking gonna come out and yell at you about it.
Yeah, but we're also a series of idiots. Like even in the middle.
Absolutely.
Again, because our perspectives are so fucking small. The fact that we yell at an 8-year-old getting off the fucking bus, like
we don't. Nobody knows enough to be an expert on anything. So we have to rely on other people's opinions and arguments and debates. And
that's where the extremists come in.
That's where they come in, which is unfortunate. All right. I guess we could get into our topic here since, again, we've gone way
2 minutes of a topic. Let's go.
Let's do this shit.
It's time to begin the complaining.
Okay, so this is actually a good topic for an episode like this where we've not really reserved a whole lot of time for it because it's not something that there's a whole lot to say about. But I told Joaquin we have to do it for this episode because it's been in my head for the past couple of weeks and they're driving me crazy. Are these TikTok NPCs that I cannot fucking stand? And the problem is, like one came up in my fucking feed when I was doom scrolling one night, and now they keep coming up in my feed when I'm doom scrolling, and they're usually live. Well, they're always live because that's the whole grift, I think. But if you're not familiar, there are these folks on TikTok who will get on a live stream and essentially pretend they're a non-player character from a video game and stand there, and a lot of times they'll like act like they're in some loop animation, kind of like wave their bodies around, like, if you're in Grand Theft Auto and there's somebody better examples like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, where you're not moving and they just stand there and go through their loop animation.
They have their idle animation.
Yeah, their idle animation.
Well, actually, it's more the way they seem to model it is after gacha game mobile games.
Yes, that's probably a better way.
You choose the character, they're on the front page, they're doing their thing. It's like you tap them, the character does a thing or says
like
a thing.
Those cat and dog games. I forget what they're called, but those games, yeah,
sort of like that. But because I feel like this trend came from Japan, because my very first and this is anecdotal, but my very first interaction with it was this guy that I follow who does these really cool edits, but during his lives he does NPC shit, and he's kind of funny. I'll admit, because he puts up the little things that look like the game icons.
I haven't seen one that's funny,
but half the time, well, I don't watch the lives. I'm talking about his actual videos, but he is just funny himself. But he does he actually moves for his animations, like said, just like ice cream, ice cream. No, he'll go like ha. And then float off the screen and then float back as if he's doing a breakdancing move.
All right, well, at least he's taking it to a level where there's some entertainment value.
And the fact that I can't understand him probably helps.
Yeah.
But
all right.
Now it's low effort Americanized.
Yes,
NPCs.
All the ones I've seen.
Holy shit!
They are literally just standing there doing their stupid, and then every time a gift. Okay, so I don't know enough about these gifts.
Thank you for the gift.
How do those gift things work? Where do they get money for each one of those? Is that how it works? Because I know.
Okay, so I have a friend who does lives.
Okay,
and the way it was explained to me is that there's a couple cents for every gift they get after the live ends.
Got it.
And because it has to validate, and or it's a certain amount, and then TikTok takes their cut, and then they get a small cut that goes to their PayPal. Or
Got it.
Like that.
Okay, because I saw it when I pushed the button that gave me the option. It was okay, you have to buy coins to buy these gifts.
Yep, to buy the gift to send to them.
So it was $1 for 5 or something. I don't know what it was. So it's okay.
I don't know.
This must be monetized on their end, because why else would they be doing this fucking stupid thing? But they just stand there, and then every little thing that pops up, they've got some stupid thing they say, ice cream, ice cream, and they just repeat it over and over. And then it's somebody will send 10 of the same thing, and they'll just do it 10 times in a row. A rose, a rose, a rose, and nothing else. Yeah. They're not saying anything else. There's no interactive element where they're doing something funny, or they're telling a story, or they're talking to you. And then as they're talking to you, they'll just do it, because the ones I've seen, it's constant. So it's not there's any time.
Ends. And you know what? It's dumb kids who play gacha games, so they're used to that kind of
the ones I saw did not look like they were kids. They were probably in their 20s.
No, I'm not talking about the NPCs. I'm talking about the people who are spending the fucking money.
That's my other
rich
side.
Weirdos teens.
Who's doing, like, why? Why am I spending money on this? I'm spending money to watch somebody just do. I don't even have to spend money. I could just watch them do the loops over and over while other people spend money.
I could just download a fucking game and get the character with the giant tits to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if they were okay, try to be here's Matt being sexist. If they had giant tits and were wearing a bikini and they were like jumping every time they did it, maybe I could see some reason.
That's the reason why they ever have those fucking things in the game.
Yeah, I could see a person doing that on TikTok, but they're not. So the ones I saw,
it's just fucking weird.
The first one,
the girl, there's a girl who's really popular for doing NPC shit.
Okay,
and she has an OnlyFans.
Who is?
They all, I believe, have OnlyFans.
Do you know anything about her? Or is it just some random girl?
Just this black girl, blonde hair.
Oh, I know which one. She's the one that
she's the most popular one.
Yeah, she was the one that like started it. I think
she's the one that got most popular with it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know who
she
you're
has
talking about.
OnlyFans because she was suing people who were leaking her shit. And I'm just like, well,
okay,
sorry, you all day. It's just like, thank you. You're making so much fucking money from that, which TikTok doesn't pay well at all. So the fact that you're actually making a shitload of money.
Yeah, I mean, if they're getting cents for each one of those, even if there's 10,000 of them, you're not getting a lot of money. You're getting maybe like $20-$30
holy
maybe.
Fucking shit.
So I get that end of it. You're on there because then some thirsty ass fucking incel is gonna see you and then go and pay for your OnlyFans. But the ones I saw, so the first one I saw was this woman. She was wearing it looked like maybe like an airline stewardess or steward, whatever you're supposed to call them now, flight attendant.
Okay.
Uniform, and she was just like she was okay looking. She's just standing there. I shouldn't mention that. I guess it's not. It's important because we're talking about the OnlyFans and stuff like that, and monetizing that way. She was just kind of standing there doing a little animation, and she was very unenthusiastic about it. She'd be like, a rose, meow, thank you for the gift. Thank you for the gift. Ooh, the heart. And she's like, just kind of standing there. It was, probably knees up. And I was like, I watched it for 15 minutes.
Wow, you have that tolerance level.
No, it wasn't that. I was just like staring at it and my brain just like glitched. It was like my brain just stopped, was like, what am I watching? And my brain was like, it ran into an error. It was like, this can't be real. Your brain must have a malfunction.
We are in a simulation.
We're going to shut down here for a minute and restart. And my brain rebooted. And then I literally was like, holy shit, 15 minutes have passed. And I was like, what the fuck am I still watching this for? And then I turned it off. And then that was that. I didn't really know what I was looking at. Go ahead.
Another thing, and I forgot to mention about the Japanese guy, because he did do one with another woman. They're playing characters. That's another thing.
Okay, I get
coupled with like cosplay.
So
where you're playing a character, you're not just some person.
Okay,
like
but
he was in a barbarian outfit. He looked like he was in Monster Hunter.
Okay, so that first person was in some sort of flight attendant or something outfit, right?
Yeah,
but wasn't doing anything though.
But she wasn't doing anything.
So it's not.
She was enthusiasm.
You're dressed like that, but you're not playing a character. You're just standing there. The second one I came across was just some broad, face up, just. Not like the first one I thought was unenthusiastic. This one just didn't give a fuck. She was just standing there.
She was making that money.
Thank you for the gift.
She was making that money.
Thank you for the gift.
I gotta give it to her.
Meow. Thank you for the gift. Meow.
No, I gotta give it to her. She was making that fucking money. She did not give a shit.
No voice.
She was getting money from stupid fucking people.
No voice, no costume, just
willing to spend money.
Just sitting there, just repeating the shit as it came up, like she was reading from the fucking dictionary. Terrible. And then the third one that came up was this younger woman that was dressed as a cat, and her name was like something cat. So she had a cat theme, like she had cat ears on and like whiskers on her face, and was like very cat. Like I don't remember all. Like there is a cat paw thing, so she was going like meow, scratch, meow, meow, scratch, scratch, meow, and then like other stuff would come up, and she would kind of like incorporate those into what she was saying, but she still wasn't playing a personality or a character. She was just kind of being cattish when she said the shit. And that one was the same. And again, she's okay looking, moderately attractive girl. So I guess she could get these incels to come and be like, ooh, pretty, and just give her free shit. But
I remember
nothing. My brain just was broken.
Really go on TikTok live ever. I barely go on TikTok now.
I get bewitched by it. They show up in my regular feed, and then I'm just like, what is this person doing?
Another thing I remember about the Japanese guy, I really wish I remembered his name, is that he had one where he would get, it wasn't like, I don't know how much it was, but it was like one that could more commonly come up because I've seen it happen like twice.
Okay.
And I couldn't see this wearing thin, but the first time was fucking hilarious to me because he was doing the thing and then he got the gift and he started monologuing.
See, but that's what I'm talking about. Was lacking.
It was like a few seconds long monologue.
Okay.
He posed and then he went back and then he got it again and he went right into the monologue
again.
And then when he got the other one, he interrupted his monologue with the beginning of like what he was saying.
Okay.
And then like he would interrupt his like own things because in those games, that's what happens. The characters don't finish what they're saying.
Right.
It just interrupts.
Okay, look, I can see that being some form of entertainment if you're getting a laugh.
I would love to. You know what? Now I need to get an Afro wig. I'm just gonna go full blaxploitation.
You can make a lot of money.
Followers in order to just be an NPC. Like
you can get a lot of money. You should get some fake tits too. You'll do really well.
You jive turkey. You jive turkey. You jive turkey. Like. I pity the fool. Just where come Mr. T? Let me a Mr. T. I pity the fool. You ain't gonna beat me. You ain't gonna beat me. I pity the fool.
I would pay for that. All right.
Look at these chains.
Look, the overwhelming majority, based on my anecdotal evidence, are just some asshole standing there either half-heartedly or not trying at all, repeating themselves over and over, saying the same shit, collecting pennies from I don't know who. I don't know who is sitting on their phone saying, I want to spend money to watch this person say something I've already seen them say 38 times. Oh my God, times.
Cyrax is an NPC.
You know, I'm sorry. Why can't we get an NPC where it's not just vocal stuff? They do something. Like, can we get them to do something?
That's what I'm saying. They should do stuff.
Like, can I get them to do butt stuff if I pay them a certain amount?
Give me another second. I'm sorry. Realize every time I have to talk low on the phone and I hit that lower register is when my throat starts getting.
You do talk very low on the phone. I noticed. You're like,
I can't help it. It's right. It's near my face. I don't mean. It's the same thing with the microphone. I shit you not. I'm not doing this on purpose. If I get close to the microphone, I start doing this. I can't help it.
Is that what you
said? Self-conscious. It's like a self-conscious thing.
A lot of times I have to adjust your audio because you're a little lower than me because you're farther away from the microphone, but it's still clear. Like it's not like it comes across as echoey and far away. It's just a little lower. And I was going to tell you to get a thing to put it closer to you, but I guess I definitely won't do that if you're just going to start talking like this.
No, I'm just going to start doing that. I do have a
tripod,
a spit guard.
Oh, spit guard. Pop
like what you have.
The pop thing?
Pop filter. I do have one, but it's since I don't have anything to hook it on, it just falls over.
Well, the snowball too is kind of hard to get right up next. I don't know what you could put that on. Yeah. Does it have a screw hole on the bottom or something to mount it?
I don't want to be talking on the show like this the whole time.
I'm gonna leave all this in just so you know.
Shit, I forgot he was recording.
Yeah, we're still recording here. This is some ASMR.
Welcome to
ASMR.
And that is why I hate you. I'm Joaquin. That's Matt.
I'm just gonna
I call him my sexy white chocolate milk dud.
I'm gonna crinkle this paper here.
I'm gonna smack my lips like this.
Oh God, I gross myself out.
I'm gonna play with myself.
You have suction cups on your fingers?
I was trying to make a fapping noise. It didn't say. Okay, all right. It wasn't the right noise. Okay, I never claimed to be. What the fuck? I never claimed to be what Michael Winslow. Was that? Is that his name? Who's that guy?
That's his name.
Police got me. That guy, is he still alive? Question.
Yes, he is. He retired to take. I think his wife passed, and he retired to take care of his daughter.
Oh, way to bring things
and
down.
And then he was recently, as a couple of years, was on American Idol.
Really?
Not to win,
What?
but to say like, hey, I'm still around and I'm still
I
talented.
didn't think he was on stage with a bunch of 18-year-olds fucking crooning, buddy. He had to be clear. He wasn't there to compete.
No. Like when you compete against other people. He wasn't doing it to compete.
That's what I'm saying. You think
literally...
what you think? I thought he was Michael Winslow was there to compete against a bunch of young.
Okay,
little...
I get it. In American Idols, all singers, there's all singers, but it's no. I'm sorry, America's Got Talent. Sorry.
Oh,
America's Got Talent.
Well, now
they're all the
that's
same fucking show. To me.
Now there's a reason
for
for me to think maybe he was competing if he was on America's Got Talent.
Yes, I should have. I said the wrong thing.
That show fucking sucks. I hate that fucking show.
All those shows are so the fucking same to me.
They are all the same.
I cannot tell them apart.
I do not like any of them, but I especially hate America's Got Talent because it seems such bullshit to me.
America's Got Talent seriously made me like Terry Crews less.
Oh, that's hard to do too.
Like Terry Crews has done some Hollywood things that make me not like him. But that's like you live in Hollywood. You kind of have to do some of those things.
We don't need to get into that.
Like,
I guess
he backed a lot of stupid shit.
Did he? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
But ultimately, I like him as a person.
Sure.
But that show makes it so hard for me to like him because everyone's just so fucking fake.
Yes, that's what I mean by it's bullshit. Singer. It's such bullshit.
Like everybody's, oh my god, who is it? Oh my god, they're singing so good. I wasn't expecting it. Like, shut the fuck up. That's what your show is.
Have you ever been to a live taping of a TV show?
No.
All right,
I refuse.
I've been to a few.
So boring.
Well, I've been to a few. I went to live tapings of Conan a couple times when he was on NBC.
Okay, that would seem really cool.
It was a lot of fun, and one of the times I went, Weezer was on, and I was like super fucking pumped because it's luck of the draw. Like you don't know who's going to be on. Like you sign up and say I want tickets, and then they tell you like you can come this day. You don't know. That was awesome. I went to a taping of Letterman. Christina Aguilera was on when she first started, and I went to a taping.
I have to ask, how is her voice live?
Excellent. It was
it
was during Christmas,
her talent.
And she did one of the Christmas songs. It was unbelievable. She sounded amazing. She was on, and then I went to a taping of The Daily Show when Jon Stewart was on.
Okay, so you have good taste.
With the
Letterman's questionable to me, but
Mila Jovovich was on. It was a thing where people I knew were going. Somebody I knew had tickets and was like, "You guys want to go?" And a big group of people went, and I went with them. But it was good. But the thing I wanted to point out was they make you be fake as shit. Like you see the people in the audience on like Masked Singer going nuts. They make you do that. Like they come out and they say, "We need you to go
to an NPC."
Yeah, that's exactly what they do. They say, "You have to go. We need you to go fucking nuts right now. We want you to clap and clap and clap until we tell you to stop." Like it's not natural. They tell you like you need to go fucking nuts right now. We want it. That's not loud enough. We want to hear more. Keep going.
Wow.
And not like in a fun way. Like, come on, you can do better. They're like, no, it needs to be louder.
They're doing their fucking job. Right. They're telling you to do yours.
They're there as if you were there doing a job, not there to watch a show. You're there to do a job. Everyone I went to was the same way. Conan was a little looser. Tickets? No, they're free. You just go online, you sign up, and then you get an email or whatever. It's like, hey, we got tickets for this date. If you want to come, you say yes. And then you actually go to a will call. So you get in line, and then if you're lucky, you get in. I got in every time. I didn't, but you line up, and then they only take so many people.
That makes sense.
But I got in every time I went. I was fortunate. I think Conan twice, Daily Show once, and then the Letterman once. But yeah, it's like you're doing a job. I remember leaving Letterman. My fucking hands hurt. I couldn't talk because I had been screaming and clapping for fucking an hour. As loud as I could. So that shit is so bullshit.
It's not that funny after all.
It's so fake. It's such bullshit. I mean, I can't say for sure that all shows are like that. And again, Conan's show was a little looser. They weren't quite as bad. They were a little more fun. Like the guy was doing crowd work and was trying to make it more fun. But it was like, you're here to be a fucking enthusiastic audience member. That's what we want you here for. So yeah. That was my experience. But yeah, to go back, it's what it was. It was just being an NPC. I get if they can add some form of entertainment to it and you can interact or something like that. That might be a little better, but I just can't. My brain literally couldn't wrap my head around the fact that A, somebody was doing this, and B, people were sending them fucking money.
That's the thing. You know what? I'm trying to retrain myself from thinking that like people have valid opinions of other than my own or people who are close to me. because I feel like strangers have valid opinions. That's just how I feel.
Sure.
And I'm starting to think that the only way to succeed is to wipe that from my fucking mind.
You do have to do that. You could just take my mindset into consideration. My mindset is you are stupid until you prove otherwise to me. I'm going to assume you are a dumbass. Not that I'm going to treat you badly or negatively, but I'm going to interact with you and assume that you're going to be a dumbass and expect dumb things to come out of your mouth until you show me that you're not a dumbass. And then I'll change my expectation. But I don't like being disappointed. Or not even disappointed. I don't like going into a conversation and being blindsided by somebody being a complete asshole or a complete dumbass or just saying stupid shit or just being just not smart, unintelligent, devolved, and just brainless.
Look, you don't even have to be intelligent, but be aware that you're not intelligent.
You're right. I maybe intelligent shouldn't have been thrown in there.
No. I don't think you're wrong saying that. No, like being intelligent is fine. But what I'm saying is, at the very least, if you're not intelligent, have enough intelligence to be aware that you're not smart. There's a quote from one of the guys I can't think of the guy's name. He's such a cool actor, but he's from Monty Python.
John Cleese.
Probably mustache, taller guy,
that's
mustache.
John Cleese.
That's John Cleese.
John Cleese
He said something about stupid people, where it's just like, well, you can't blame stupid people for being stupid because they're not smart enough to know that they're stupid. So if you're not smart enough to know that you're stupid, then you wouldn't know you're stupid.
Well,
he said something along those lines.
Let me re-clarify. I don't necessarily mean stupid like lacks intelligence on subject matter stuff. I mean like just a dumbass, like somebody that just doesn't think for themselves and just does dumb shit and says dumb shit. Not necessarily somebody that's just not intelligent. I really should have phrased that differently, but just a dumbass. A dumbass. That's what I mean. I assume you're a dumbass until you prove to me that you're not a dumbass, because I don't want to be disappointed by the words that come out of your mouth and how I'm just like another one of these human beings that is making the earth worse and progressing us towards idiocracy at a rapid rate.
Yes. Here's the quote. I'm going to play it because it's really short.
Okay.
I think the problem with people like this is
it's John Cleese.
They are so stupid that they have no idea how stupid they are.
It's true.
You see, if you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very stupid? You'd have to be relatively intelligent to realize how stupid you are. There's a wonderful bit of research by a guy called David Dunning at Cornell, who's a friend of mine, I'm proud to say, who's pointed out that in order to know how good you are at something requires exactly the same skills as it does to be good at that thing in the first place, which means, this is terribly funny, that if you're absolutely no good at something at all, then you lack exactly the skills that you need to know that you're absolutely no good at it. And this explains not just Hollywood, but almost the entirety of Fox News.
I didn't hear the ending.
Good closing. Good closing.
I didn't hear the shade on Fox News.
You know what? That's true. And like I said, I don't blame people who are stupid for being stupid. I blame dumbasses for doing dumbass things.
No. Yes. Like when something's clearly what you're doing is fucking stupid, just fucking own up to it. And I'm sorry, paying for people. Okay, if you have the means to, you know what? No, I shouldn't get upset about this, because if you have the means to pay someone to do something stupid that's harmless and they do that stupid thing and get paid for it, fuck it. Let them have it.
Yep.
Let them fucking have it.
But that creates a whole new problem for me, in that the person should not have to do that stupid thing to begin with to earn a living. That's what bothers. So that overrides.
Well, they're not earning a living. That's like extra money.
Come on, dude. They're doing that. They gotta need it. You're not doing that if you don't need it.
I have a friend who wants to do something for possibly on TikTok or Twitch that seems similar to NPCs, but what she wants to do is fully develop a choose your own adventure, like point and click game.
Okay.
But live.
How would that work with a bunch of people though? Just like poll?
Like you could, if you gift like small gifts, you get seen.
Okay.
Or you could get clues, or because somebody ran like a D&D, like a cooperative D&D game,
Okay,
where he just wrote on a board, and I played that for a while, and that was actually pretty interesting.
that's cool.
Where like me and like I think it was like 12 other people would jump in and out, but me and 12 other people are the ones who
All right,
strictly stayed.
so that's fine. You're paying for
And it was kind of
somebody's
fun.
creativity and work
But
that goes into
that's
that.
like that is creative. Where like my problem is doing the NPC thing. I don't generally have a problem with it. I technically on any form don't have a problem with it. I think it's stupid. I think it's annoying. I wouldn't pay for it. I don't think people should get famous for it. But for whatever, I think I have to now train myself into thinking everyone's stupid, because that's a really stupid thing to become popular.
That's what I told you. If you just assume,
because it's an amusing
if you
gimmick.
just assume outright that everyone is stupid, then you're never disappointed, and then you'll be pleasantly
it's an amusing
surprised.
gimmick at best, but it's not a thing. It shouldn't be a thing. But if it is going to be a thing, then I swear to God, at the very fucking least, make it creative.
Yeah, that
show some enthusiasm.
I would have no problem if there was
there's no
creativity.
enthusiasm.
I wouldn't have a
If
problem.
somebody's just like,
again,
ooh, ice cream.
This episode and this topic
ice cream.
is based on my anecdotal experience.
Tweaky nipple.
I'd pay for tweaky nipple.
Like-
They don't do that.
No, they don't. They get demonetized.
The porn industry should get involved in this. That's what I'm saying. Like I was saying earlier, there should be
Pornhub
like,
Live,
butt stuff,
NPCs.
butt stuff. Ooh, my pussy. Ooh, my pussy.
Squirt, 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 squirt.
Nip
Little
slip,
squirts
nip
on
slip,
that-
nip slip.
Ooh, daddy.
Brown eye,
Ooh, daddy.
brown eye. Pay a little more, they queef.
Have some like Russian with like a spanking trop, like in NPC
Oh
mode.
my god, we've created a
Oh
monster.
my god! If they just have like a little switch that has like an NPC mode that you could click it on to. If you click NPC mode, then the whoever the cam person is has to like go into NPC mode.
Oh, why? Why? That probably already exists. We didn't just make that up. Somebody does that already.
Oh my! Of course they.
I mean,
do.
I don't delve into the world of the internet underground these days.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sure it exists.
Too old for that shit.
Too old
for that shit at this point.
Yeah, too
like
old.
it's just look, the internet ages you so fast.
It does.
It just,
Is that why I feel so
don't
old? Is the
have
internet?
patience for everybody. I don't have patience at all.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's what it is. I should just stay off social media and stay off the internet in general, and then
Like,
maybe I wouldn't be so mad all the time.
The sheer fact. Listen, I'm going to bring up Twitter. Twitter wants to now be called X because it identifies as a letter. And
Elon should just tweet that. Twitter now identifies as X.
Identifies as X.
You don't
But-
fucking
but-
deadbait me, motherfuckers.
Right? But still, the web host name, like when you have to type in the address,
Yeah.
Twitter.x.com.
Well, do you know how much work that would be to hard
Twitter-
code so that everything uses
I
X.com as the root?
I know, but that's for me. That's the same thing as Caitlyn Jenner still having a dick. It is the same fucking thing to me. It was like, what? Wait, so you want all the praise and stuff and recognition for being this thing, but still holding on to your past and all that glory, but erase like sectionalized parts that you don't want
It's
everybody to know
all
about?
or nothing, literally.
For me, that's like a pedophile saying, "Well, I don't identify as a pedophile. I did that in my past."
Dude, don't get me started because I told you I'm very confused on these things, and I want to understand them better.
That's not about trans people in general. That's talking about like that's literally talking about people who don't want to accept like the other half of anything else.
Sure. No, I understand
this
what you
isn't
mean.
just trans people in general. I have no problem with trans people when it makes sense.
Sure. No, I understand.
And
I
I'm
know
talking
that.
about making sense in my way. It doesn't have to make sense in a way that I would put it together.
It just has to make
Like,
sense
if
for
you
their
could
life.
if you could put the puzzle pieces together in a way that I didn't expect,
Cool.
you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you are literally saying, no, these puzzle pieces go together and they're both like outies, and like how so? And then you just cut the fucking piece of the puzzle out to fit it in, the picture still doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, I know what you mean. I totally understand.
And that goes for anybody. That's why I think that we have such turmoil when it comes to trans and sexuality, is because we have a dysfunction in our brains as the internet-aged people who don't understand, and this is humans in general, that one, our leaders shouldn't be 90 years old, which, you know, Dianne Feinstein dying is a tragedy,
Mm-hmm.
but she shouldn't have been in her position at her fucking age. I am not going to be super sad over a 90-year-old woman passing away of old age when that is what 90-year-olds do.
Yes, that is what 9-year-olds are supposed to do. Yes. I
She
agree.
shouldn't be leading the country. Sorry.
I agree.
And we can't get that in our brains that there's something wrong with that.
I think
so. And that brain fog, the brain worm, is applied to all the other stupid shit we do.
What's really jumped out at me recently is that people don't seem to recognize that two things can be true at the same time.
At the same time, yes.
That's what's
absolutely
been really bothering me lately. Like, on anytime I hear an argument, whether it's the blue hairs or the red ties, it's what it boils down to. It's like, two things can be correct at the same time. Like, you keep preaching or pontificating on this point over and over again without realizing that both things can be true at the same time. It's just,
yeah.
I'll give you an example. No, I don't want to get into it anymore. I'm just going to end up getting myself in trouble if I keep going on.
No, unrelated, but this is two people doing that. I was watching a thing on Castlevania because I wanted to see what characters they took from the games and what characters they made up.
Right.
And ultimately, I wasn't successful in finding what I was looking for because I didn't want to do all that reading.
Ask ChatGPT, buddy.
I don't fully trust it still, but I will.
You don't trust it?
I don't trust it to give me correct information.
All right, so it gives you some information. You got something instead of nothing.
Well, I didn't get nothing. It just was a lot of reading that I didn't want to do because it's on forums and wikis.
I thought you just
I would have to
gave up and didn't find anything.
No, I gave up because I didn't want to do all that reading.
Then thought experiment.
I did end up falling into what?
I was thought experiment. Do the research and then ask ChatGPT and see if it's right.
You know what? I probably should. I should be less lazy.
Shit, I'm gonna keep interrupting. You finish and then I'll go.
So people are arguing on this, not arguing, but they're having a debate because they're talking about like a thing that happened in one of the episodes. And I'm not going to talk about what happened, but there was somebody saying, they don't like how it works because in the original series it worked this way and now it doesn't make sense. And then people are constantly giving answers, not like weak answers either, like real answers. Right. And this person was making me angry. They started making me really angry.
Don't you hate how some random person on the internet can have that power over you?
To just make you, because all they were doing was going, yeah, but. Every sentence they started with, yeah, but, and then would say the same fucking question that was answered.
Dude, that was my
argument on Facebook. They weren't listening to anything anyone else said.
That was my argument on Facebook last night. The person just kept saying the same thing without actually, my point was that these two apps are not the same, and it did not mention that. Just kept saying the same thing over and over. Anyway.
It was like, yeah, but, yeah, and I mean, like, literally, you kept writing, yeah, but. And every time they came up, like, it got so...
That's almost actually. It's pretty close.
Yeah. It went on for so fucking long that other people in the forum just started having other conversations about it and ignoring him. Or her. I don't know.
Them.
Or them. Because they were just not... It was the brain worm. They just were not getting it. It was like, I have a question, but I don't want the answer to it. Because nobody has a direct answer, because in the show, they don't say anything ever that is blatantly why this happened.
Right.
All we know is there's magic, a thing is not the same exact fucking thing, and they did this differently than they did in the last season, and so this character ended up this way. If you don't like it, that's fine. But then when you gave your reason why you didn't fucking like it, and somebody corrected you, and there was like multiple people answering, you just say, you know what? I'm not going to listen to what you have to say, so just don't fucking answer.
Yeah,
I just put it out into the ether just to feel validated.
That's the way everybody kind of goes these days. Just like, this is what I believe in. I'm not going to listen to anyone else. It happens a lot.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
With my daughter, I now tell her, like, if she asks me a question, like, especially like if it's a disciplinary thing, I go, are you asking me because you don't understand? Or are you asking me just to make me angry? Because I have to know, because I don't want to get angry.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, are you really asking me because you want to know? Or are you asking me just to hear yourself talk and you're just trying to upset me and have an argument with me?
Yeah.
Because I'm not ready for this. I'm not going to do this with you. But too many fucking people and adults do that.
Oh, in ad nauseum.
They ask questions. Yeah. they ask questions just to fucking argue or to not listen to the answer.
Or
if they don't
to feel like they're saying something. They don't care.
Yeah. They don't even want to answer like why they don't even want to say why the answer isn't satisfactory.
No, not at all. Of course not. They just want to ignore it. So
yeah, sorry, I just went to a thing. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to quickly just say with ChatGPT, I was watching because I'm always trying to read about it. I was watching a clip about it last night, and I guess one of the big issues is it can't do nonlinear thinking well. It's very linear. Like, so if you ask it, hey, it takes 3 hours for 3 towels to dry hanging on a line. You say, how long would it take 9 towels to dry? It doesn't. It just extrapolates and goes, it would take 9 hours. If 3 takes 3, then 9 takes 9. It can't think, they're all drying at the same time. It doesn't matter how many you put on the line. It takes 3 hours for a towel to dry. It can't do that kind of thing. So it may have trouble with something like that where it has to.
I have one to write. I have one to ask it. Oh my God, you just.
Were you gonna do it live?
It's from a silly movie, but I want to see if it does it.
Okay.
There are 12 birds sitting on a house. The owner fires a gun into the air, killing 3 of the birds. How many birds are left? Oh my God, it did it!
You get it right?
It answered correctly!
12?
The loud noise from the firing of the gun would likely startle the remaining birds, causing them to fly away. So after firing the gun, there may not be any birds left on the house. Woo!
Oh, I was going to say all 12 were there because the birds in the sky we shot were not the ones that were on the house. I didn't
see, you were still thinking outside of the box, though.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing, was that outside of the box
got it
question.
Right. Well, that's good.
No, but
you know why,
the reason
though?
why I asked that...
It may have heard that, it may have ingested that somewhere on the internet. Who knows?
Here's the thing. There's this really shitty movie that's made from old what are those games that were always light gun games where it was using real people.
Yep.
It's a movie that's a compilation of those things.
Those games
from
were
actual
awful.
games.
They never worked right.
Yeah, they were. And the villain is an AI who gets defeated because the main character asks it that question.
Oh, I like that.
So I had to. Oh my God. Okay.
All right.
It just made me happy.
I'm glad that it got it right. That shows I don't know. Should I be not glad?
Well, I mean, it's a movie that's already out, so it probably did get the answer, but it didn't answer like the movie character did. So it probably just was able to figure it out.
Oh, it's going to kill us all. It's going to kill us all. All right,
I'm
guys.
going to tell it. Good job.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. We appreciate it. If you want, you can always give us send us an email. You could do that by emailing what's our email again? podcast@atiwihy.com, or you can leave us a voicemail that we play on the air by calling 929-564-4262. Or you can go to the website and use that to leave us a message.
atiwihy.com.
I do really quick one more time want to shout out ScoopPods.com. That's our podcast network. ScoopPods.com. There are a bunch of great pods there from people like us that are just fans of a podcast and wanted to start their own. I want to shout out Fun and Games podcast, great gaming podcast. Newman the podcast. Dude does basically monologue for 30 minutes and it's great. It's fun. Hey Buddy Nice podcast. 2 scoops that met and started podcasts together, kind of on a dare. Great podcast. Big Sexy Digital Nomad. Great podcast about traveling. My buddy Jobeth, also known as Judgmentalist, co-hosts that. Rainbow Dreamcatcher Love Podcast. Great podcast. There's a bunch of them. Go check it out. You'll find something to listen to there. You got anything else to add before we wrap it up? Wrap it up! Oh, wait.
Viva la singularity.
I wanted to say it's time to end the podcast and
just make sure you take your vitamin C and sploosh.
Oh, sorry. What were we talking about? Well, that was fun. It's always good to put a podcast together. Oh man, I gotta tell you about my new favorite TikTok person later. I got a new favorite TikToker. It's this young woman with Tourette's. She's fucking awesome. You're gonna love it.
I think I might know who you're talking about.
Peace.